Howdy.
Today on the Caucus, Michael Shear reports from Waterloo, Iowa, on Rick Perry's trip there and the new dimensions of the Republican race. And John Harwood is in Cannon Falls, Minnesota, for this week's presidential bus tour through the Midwest.
Thank you, Bill.
Governor, how's your reception been here?
It's been awesome. It's great, man. These people.
Say hi to them.
It's all friendly. You'd think you was in Texas if you didn't know better.
We're here in Waterloo, Iowa, where Governor Rick Perry of Texas has started the first trip of his presidential campaign, a 3-day swing through Iowa.
You have children? You have two.
I've got two. They're actually here.
Yeah.
They're sitting right behind this gaggle of reporters right there.
3 people came to Waterloo, Iowa today. Governor Rick Perry of Texas, Rick Santorum of Pennsylvania, and Michelle Bachmann, who's from Waterloo. But the focus was on Rick Perry and Michelle Bachmann, the newest rivals in what is expected to be a heated battle for Iowa.
Sometimes it kind of takes me a while to get into something like this presidential race, but let me tell you, when I'm in all the way.
This is my copy of the Waterloo Courier today. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did.
What had been anticipated was the two of them in the same room together, providing the first glimpse of an interaction between them, but it never took place. Mr. Perry gave his speech. Ms. Bachmann hadn't even arrived yet. When he finished, he went back to his table and watched very politely as Ms. Bachmann came in, gave her speech, never once acknowledging that he was sitting at the table just a few feet away. When she finished her speech, Mr. Perry, the governor, slipped out a side entrance as she was signing T-shirts and other memorabilia for the crowd.
And we welcome Governor Perry to the race. So, not yet.
This was in essence the kind of the kickoff. You had the straw poll on Saturday, and then this kicks off, really starts what is expected to be a real intense battle between both of them for Iowa, and especially for the evangelical and social conservatives of Iowa that have been so much the mainstay of Michelle Bachmann's support, but that people think Rick Perry might have a chance of getting as well.
He's going to be a strong campaigner. He's going to be a strong voice in the campaign. I think he's going to have a lot to say, and he may have a big impact.
What this weekend has done is now set up a new dynamic between 3 candidates, Michelle Bachmann, Rick Perry, and Mitt Romney. Each of these candidates now have serious challenges ahead of them. Governor Perry has to figure out whether he can quickly mount a campaign, he can quickly raise the kind of money that other candidates have been already spending weeks and months in some cases trying to raise. Ms. Bachmann now has the focus squarely on her, having won the straw poll. The media questions started immediately the next morning, digging up statements from her past. She needs to be able to prove that she can withstand that kind of criticism. And Governor Romney has to decide when he's finally going to engage. He's been ignoring most of the other Republican candidates in favor of criticizing President Obama and staying above the fray. But now the danger is that if he does that for too long, the campaign will essentially ignore him and focus so much on the other two that he'll be a forgotten factor. So for all of these candidates, the next several weeks as they figure out how to address these challenges, it is going to be very critical.
August can be a tricky month for presidents when things slow down and there's a news vacuum. Last week, the news vacuum was all about the S&P downgrade and the volatility, wild volatility in the stock market. Is everybody going? This week, the president, with Congress out of town, is trying to fill that news vacuum with an economic tour of critical states in the Midwest. Here in Minnesota, we're in Cannon Falls, where he's going to have a town hall meeting in the park behind me. He's going to go next to Iowa and also to Illinois. Carried all those states in 2008, needs to carry them again in 2012. What he wants to do is, first of all, hope the markets have calmed down and make the case for his economic approach, both short-term and long-term. Long-term, he's been talking about a balanced approach to deficit reduction, spending cuts, and some tax increases. Short-term, he's looking at Congress to do some things, extend some tax cuts, perhaps add new tax cuts to get this economy going, because the number one concern that he has in the immediate circumstance is that the economy is slowing down, and the pace at which the economy is likely to add jobs is also slowing down. What the president is trying to do is go over the heads of Republicans in Congress and generate public pressure. He's seen in the polls that Republicans have taken hits just like he has from their stance during the debt limit negotiations. The ratings for the Republican Party have gone down. He's had some advantages in public opinion that haven't translated in Washington to legislative success, and they may not in the future, but what the president, of course, he's running for re-election, so what he hopes is even if he can't get Republicans to cooperate on his agenda this fall, that he can win swing voters to his side in the 2012 election.